So I recently rewatched I Am Not Your Guru, which follows Tony Robbins, a personal success coach, well-renowned speaker, author, billionaire and philanthropist who has influenced the personal success space for over 3 decades now and worked with movie stars, pro athletes and presidents alike. If you haven't seen the show yet, it follows Tony Robbins at his Date with Destiny event, which is a live show that he does each year in Florida, which I was lucky enough to go to myself back in 2018. This event is a mecca from people from all over the globe, from all walks of life, that they can go to. They've got a problem that they can't seem to overcome or a goal that they really want to achieve that they really can't seem to get. Now, as a fan of the event and Tony's overall message about personal development, I decided to rewatch the show when I was struggling with a recent problem myself. I think we can all hold our hands up and say that over our lives, we've been through difficult and challenging experiences. You can dress it up any way you like. Call it stress, call it burnout, call it trauma, or any kind of demotivation. Any way you want to label it is fine. I think back to my own personal experiences when I broke my neck when I was 21 years old in a swimming pool accident, my parents getting divorced when I was younger, or feeling senses of rejection through relationships or in business. And you might be listening to this and it might be mirroring some of your own experiences or potentially even worse through help with your friends, support groups, family, mentors, coaches. You've been able to overcome those challenges and somehow get through them. But have those things really been resolved? And are they keeping you being stuck where you are in something that you want or even a problem that you have? Now, those of you that know me know that I absolutely love this space. I love investigating and exploring further. So I decided to dig a little bit deeper, watch the Netflix show and do some research. So if you're currently feeling stuck with something, if you're feeling frustrated and you're not getting the results that you want in your health, in your business, in your career, maybe in a relationship, keep watching because we're going to unveil a little bit more as we go along. Please don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to this channel whilst you can. It's completely free to do so and it really, really helps support the channel a lot. It helps support me. Without further ado, let's go digging for that juice. A few weeks ago, I went traveling through South Korea and I had a great opportunity to just stop and reflect on things. And I love to do that. I don't know about you, but traveling to a new country gives you so much different type of perspective and inspiration and sort of like looking back on some of the problems that I was facing and also some of the things that I managed to get through over the last couple of years. And as I was reflecting, I decided to watch this I'm Not Your Guru popped up on my feed for Netflix. I decided to give it a watch and I was a little bit skeptical this time. The show follows a very common theme, that your internal world creates your external world. This means that the words you use, the thoughts you have, the beliefs you hold, and the emotions you feel about yourself, about others or things directly result in the reality that you're currently living and experiencing today. And this is why the thought that I can never do what this person's doing or I can never afford to buy that is currently destroying your dreams. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, yeah, right, Rich, but sometimes you need to be realistic. And that's exactly what I thought, and that's where this gets really interesting. So the show goes on, and Tony Robbins does 3 interventions. The first intervention is with the raped woman. The second intervention is with the suicidal one. And the third intervention is with the emasculated man. The first intervention that he did with the raped woman had me in tears. I'm not going to lie to you. There was something so raw about the story that she untold. She was effectively raised under the belief that giving her body to other men was giving love to God. And the people that did it to her told her and explained to her that they were doing under the guidance or under the direction from God. And that by giving her body means that she was giving love to God. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine being told that from a very young age? What do you believe about men? What is your belief about love? What is your belief about any kind of intimate relationship? The second man held himself to extremely high standards. Perfectionism, you could call. So much so that he hated himself. He hated everything about himself. Couldn't find joy in anything in life and therefore wanted to take his own life. There was no point in being around. There was no purpose. Can you imagine that? Many of us hold ourselves into very high esteem. We expect the best from ourselves and from others. But getting to the point where you hate everything about yourself and about others and about the world, and you don't think you're worthy to be here. How do you overcome something like that? And the final intervention with the emasculated man. This man was so beaten down. He was always trying to please his wife. He was always trying to give her what he thought he should need. So much so that he masked his internal masculine strength to lead and to make decisions, which, interestingly enough, was something that she really, really wanted from him, but he wasn't able to deliver. And through each intervention, Tony was able to help that person learn something or understand something about that problem that was keeping them stuck. He was able to show the suicidal man that joy could be had by taking the piss out of his shoes. He made the man laugh and the people laugh around them, and through that released some tension and demonstrated to the suicidal man that joy could be had if he was just a little bit more loving to himself. For the raped woman, he was able to tell her that her story was so powerful and it touched so many people. And through the story, he felt a desire to love her, but not because he wanted her, but just because love can be something that can be transferred without the requirement for her to give up herself or to give herself to somebody else. And that many men and women around the world share the same viewpoint. And for the emasculated man, he was able to share a story about a lion that lost his identity and thought he became a sheep. And through telling the story, he was able to help the man re-identify, reclaim who he was, to take back control and lead with his roar. So let's look at the evidence. What was the most common factor about all these three situations? Well, these three situations, the one thing that I could find, the one thing I could see that was most common was that each person, before they met Tony, were certain about what they believed. They were certain about what they held to be true. And they were so certain until somebody confronted them or spoke to them and was able to create more certainty around a different viewpoint. And when two people collide who are certain, the person who is more certain will always influence the other person. So by Tony having more certainty that joy can be had in this world, having more certainty that love doesn't equal having to give yourself up to somebody else, and that your mental and your masculine self can easily be unmasked and you can take back control whenever you like. By having more certainty about that, he was able to influence not just himself and his belief about what he could do to help others, but also how others can influence their own thoughts, their beliefs, their emotions, and the language that they use to influence themselves to change. Now, the crazy thing about this, there's stories about this all over the world, plastered for hundreds and hundreds of years. We know people in our small circles that have done this. There's so many people that have certainty about what they want. Arnold Schwarzenegger was certain he'd become Mr. Universe, certain he'd become a movie star, and certain he'd become a politician. He was just a young boy in Austria with no resources and no internet connection and no ability to learn or discover how he could do it. The same goes for Donald Trump, was able to become a global phenomenon in the business world as well, deal maker, as well as a politician and a president of the United States. He influenced thousands, millions of people to vote him into power. That's how much certainty Donald Trump had. Look how much certainty Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, Beyonce, Serena Williams have in themselves to be the very best at what they do. So how do we create certainty on our own capabilities to overcome a problem or to achieve a goal? Well, actually it's easy, because at some level you've already done it, but you've just convinced yourself otherwise. It's crazy, but let's just look at it. How many times have you said to yourself, I'm never going to lose the weight. I'm not good enough for that person. I'm too old or too young to start. I'm rubbish at learning languages. I'm terrible when it comes to studying. I'm rubbish with numbers. I'll never be able to run my own business. How many times have we talked ourselves out of something? We need to be mindful of our thoughts. We need to be mindful of our language. We need to be mindful of statements, beliefs that we hold, and emotions that we're feeling. If we can be mindful of those things, we can change our reality. The beauty of it, this can be used at any time. This can be used when you don't want to go to the gym. This can be used when you feel you've got poor financial habits. This can be used when you don't feel like you can find love. This can be used when you believe that you can't eat a certain way in order to achieve a goal for yourself. You can believe this when you're trying to overcome a health problem. You can use this when you want to create new skills and develop yourself. So I'm going to put like a little strategy side on here that you can use in order to get yourself into a peak state. So Tony Robbins always talks about getting yourself into a peak state or priming yourself to achieve a certain goal. And it starts with movement. It starts with using words. It starts with emotions. It starts with belief. It starts with clearing your mind. It starts with creating strategy. There's visualization cues in there. All these fundamental things you can use in order to achieve a goal. So the three biggest takeaways from this is be careful where you spend your thoughts because they dictate your reality. The longer you hold on to a problem, the harder it is to let go. And the biggest resistance to change is when somebody can't identify themselves with the problem that they're facing. With that being said, I'm going to leave you with my own personal certainty statement that I created on one of the Tony Robbins events that I went to. This, I am the voice, I believe no doubt, I can hear, see and feel no doubt. I'm the world's #1 coach and trainer. I'm blessed with abundance of wealth, intelligence, confidence and passion to help change people's lives. And this is one of the statements I'll say over and over again to get myself primed for something that I really want to succeed at. So thanks very much for watching today. Let me know your comments and your thoughts in the comment section below. And let us know in the comment section, what are you certain about that's been stopping you from succeeding in your life? So drop your answers in the comment section below and we'll see you on the next one.